Kylian Mbappe offered £700 million for one season to go and join Al Hilal, who have offered £259 million for Paris Saint-Germain. It came out, of course, at the weekend. The PSG were actively looking to sell Mbappe after he refused to extend his contract. Joined on the line now by James Benge, who is soccer correspondent for CBS. James, you're very much leading the charge on the financial details of this deal. The big question, is it likely?
I don't want to get involved in that. I mean, I don't know how anyone could turn down that sort of salary. And certainly it sounds like PSG are very open to doing a deal at that level. It would be the world's most expensive footballer, would suddenly be Kylian Mbappe to Saudi Arabia. And then, you know, it's really hard to imagine someone saying no to 700 million euros. It's a staggering amount of money. And it comes with, you know, a willingness from Al Hilal's side, if it's what Mbappe wants, for him to go to Real Madrid next year. So I have to say, you know, I know what I would do if I were in Kylian Mbappe's position, but it's hard to know what Kylian will do.
So do you think he goes for a year and then to Madrid afterwards? I mean, I guess the question I've got is, where did Madrid go from 700 million out in Saudi? What are they going to have to pay him to get out of Spain? And where does financial fair play, by the way, come into it now with, you know, all the authorities worldwide? Obviously, Saudi's not part of that. But, you know, is this player going to end up in Saudi for the next 3 or 4 years, if those are his expectations wages-wise?
Financial fair play from, you know, the public investment fund that owns this and 3 other clubs in Saudi Arabia. Their view on FFP would be, who cares?
Yeah.
You know, they're building something here. And actually, one thing I was told is, for Al Hilal, you know, when you put these numbers in euro terms, it becomes the first €1 billion footballer. And
Wow.
There's almost a desire for that to be,
It's amazing.
you know, the talking point of the summer. I did say to sort of people I know in Saudi Arabia, you know, you could do that with 500 million, the first €500 million footballer. But as a Real Madrid, I don't know. I'm sure that, you know, Al Hilal's pitch to Mbappe would be, you can stay here if you want the money. And Real Madrid will obviously say, you know, there is no way on earth we can match that salary or even get close. Maybe Mbappe looks at it as a one-off, you know, let's build up the bank account for a year and then almost go and do what I want, follow my dreams.
You speak about a one-off, but I know his dreams, of course, is to play at Real Madrid. Is there an opportunity, though? He goes out there, he loves it, he enjoys it, that they continue to pay him this salary over years to come?
Yeah, I believe so. There's been no, you know, there's been no indication to me that the money is any cause for concern. PIF is one of the 10 richest sovereign wealth funds in the world. I mean, it would certainly be a real challenge to what would interest me is what happens then to a Cristiano Ronaldo or a Karim Benzema when they see what Mbappe's earning. They're going to want something comparable, and that's when the money goes very quickly.
You signed a contract.
Yeah,
Tough luck.
I suspect that's the answer. And, you know, people in Saudi Arabia have long been pretty firm with players once they're on the books. So certainly Al Hilal.
Ronaldo missed a trick, his agent. He should have put a clause in that he has to be the highest paid player out in Saudi every time they sign a player. Can you imagine how you'd be laughing sitting
really
here today? You know?
That would have been some agreement, wouldn't it?
But Neves and Koulibaly, they'll be questioning it now, wouldn't they?
Well, they're in talks with Mitrovic as well. It's the same club, Al Hilal. So I wonder if his demands, James, would have just gone up.
This deal is perfect. It's $1 billion worth of free advertising, or £1 billion worth. I mean, this is for the Saudi, what they're trying to do. Wow. Look at us today.
But it's also fascinating that I don't know if Mitrovic now goes on the back burner, and this is me saying I don't know. Everything is so fluid that, you know, the Saudis are so reactive to the market. If there's a player they think they can get, they'll sort of go for them, and then they'll deal with the squad, the rules, the salaries, everything afterwards. And I think Al Hilal's view here is an opportunity opened up that they could never have imagined. There's a very specific set of circumstances where PSG are desperate to get money. A lot of Premier League clubs are looking at this thinking, you know, it's a 1-year rental and then he'll go, you know, we might not get him. So this is, you know, almost an opportunity that throws everything else up in the air. I don't really think right now they'd be looking at the 50 million they're offering Bernardo Silva and still looking at that as a possible deal.
It feels like the perfect solution for all concerned, because Paris Saint-Germain are determined that he won't leave on a free. He maybe will go out with his legacy intact because he's recouped some money for the football club, and Real Madrid can sit and get the player they want next summer. You mentioned there that Saudi Arabia are very reactive to the market. How reactive have they been in the case of Harry Kane? Do you understand that conversations have taken place with Harry Kane's advisors about the possibility of him joining the Saudi exodus?
Yeah, I heard they happened a while back, but the indications that were given to the Saudis were Kane's just not that keen on that. I mean, you'll know as well, Alex, it sounds like it's really just Bayern Munich that's an avenue that's interesting him. But if there's a footballer out there, someone in Saudi Arabia has broached the possibility of signing them. But from what I heard, Kane isn't that keen at the moment.
It's really interesting, isn't it? Because I think your view, Darragh, is that anyone is susceptible to money, but we know that Bruno Fernandes has turned down a couple of offers from Saudi Arabia to stay as Manchester United captain. We talked about Harry Kane there, Marco Silva earlier. So
everyone has a price. So I guess if Bruno was offered €1 billion, would he have gone then? Or would he have stayed captain in your beloved United?
I think he'd have stayed captain of United.
Behave yourself.
That's the problem. I know he's the best, in my opinion, he's the best player in the world, Mbappe, but now is that a benchmark now? Okay, Bruno's not going to get paid that much, but he's going to, if he gets...
Well, it's a game changer.
If he gets offered 20 million, he's going to think, no chance, I want to get somewhere in between.
No, I think at the end of the day, if a player's on, I don't know, 5-6 million a year in England and someone ends up, the Fulham boy, Mitrovic, and he gets 20 million, it doesn't matter what Mbappe's getting, that's 20 million you're getting. You're not worth the Mbappe money. With all due respect, Messi in the MLS is getting the split of the Apple revenue on, the subscription deal they did, the $2.5 billion. For everyone who subscribes, Messi's getting a percentage. So you've got Apple, the MLS, Inter Miami, everyone out there is putting money together to get Messi there. Same in Saudi. This Mbappe did $1 billion for them is a drop. It's like me and you going out and spending $100 in the pub. So for them, we're all talking about it. This is broken on the news today. It's off the sheet we have of all the notes today, so I need this news talker.
James, I'm putting you on the spot a bit here, but on that topic, Darragh's view is that the Saudi aim here is just to get international television revenue, that in the end, ultimately, television companies in this country are going to have to buy into it. Have you been given any information, that any deal with any English media to show Saudi League games is close?
Yeah, you put me on the spot with something I do not have the answer for there, I'm afraid.
Apologies.
But I do know they've been working really hard on getting, names we'll all be familiar with in the sports media, getting them involved in production and building a product. Because, like you say, if you've got Mbappe, Ronaldo, Benzema, Kante, some people in the world, no matter what they think of the clubs, are going to want to tune in and watch some of the biggest names in the world.
Absolutely.
James, thanks very much for joining us. I know you're over in Corfu at the moment, so stay safe, and we'll keep following your updates on this story. That's James Benge, who is soccer correspondent for CBS, leading the charge on the news that Kylian Mbappe could be set for a £259 million move to Saudi Arabia. And actually, our intrepid producer, Ollie, has broken it down. The €700 million salary for one season works out €58.3 million a month, €13.3 million a week. That's €1.9 million a day, or if you like, just about €80,000 an hour, €1,332 a minute, €22 per second.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.